I was checking.
Hello. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We appreciate your attendance, and we have a pretty good order of issues to talk about tonight. If you have any kind of device, not just a phone, a laptop, an iPad, I don't know, something that will make noise and interrupt us, please turn it on silent so we can give you our full attention. With that, Council, we will stand for a Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Helms will give our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, as we come before you today, we want to thank you for another blessing day that you've bestowed upon us. We pray that you be with us tonight, guide us, direct us, give us wisdom to conduct the town's business, and we give you the praise and glory for it all. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, council members. You have been provided copies of the July 23rd Council Budget Workshop minutes, the July 28th Council meeting minutes, the August 11th Council Budget Workshop minutes, and the August 19th Council Budget Workshop minutes. Are there any changes, deletions, or additions?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, thank you. You can tell it's that time of year. We're meeting a lot. Public comment pursuant to Section 2-46 of the Code of Ordinances for the Town of Fort Mill. Any citizen of the town may appear before council for the purpose of providing public comments, thank you, on any municipal matter except personnel matters. Those who wish to speak must sign in outside the council chambers prior to the start of the meeting. Citizens will be given 3 minutes each to speak. We have Ms. Karen W. Kemp that would like to speak this evening. Ms. Kemp?
I've never done this before.
That's okay.
So I'm shaking.
We're generally gentle people.
Okay, good. Good. I was driving on, past Mercantile, Harris Teeter, and then I saw a sign for 150 new units next to those townhomes. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, we need something for homeless people. So a tiny homes community for homeless people is what it got started. So I was wondering if the town, I don't know, am I supposed to acknowledge you when I start? Anyway, sorry. I was wondering if the town of Fort Mill and surrounding communities could donate a parcel of land to build tiny homes for the homeless. If different builders would each build a tiny house or two for the homeless, to get them back into society. Then they could get cleaned up, find steady work, and really live a meaningful lives, not exist. I feel like I'm homeless. I've been homeless 6 years and 3 months and a couple days. And I feel like I just exist, you know. The house could be called after the builder for them, and they could advertise the house. This is the one I built for this homeless person. Anyway, in a couple months, when the homeless are settled into their home and working, see, they can work. It's just too hard to work as a homeless person. You're not clean, and it's just too hard. They could begin making monthly low payments toward rent or owning their home. They would work that out with the builder, I guess, whatever, you know. The payments would go to the builder of their home. A family could adopt a homeless family to work with, help with finances, care of their new home, mow the lawn, wash dishes, reteach them all those things of having a house. Whatever the homeless person needs until they know how to run their house. Thank you.
Good.
So that's it. Has it been 3 minutes?
No, you're fine.
So this could build community where the people are well off, could help the poor get a better place to live. So landscaping, I love hearts. And so eastern redbud trees, elephant ear plants, and whatever else. So did I explain enough?
I think so.
Yeah, just to give them a start, a new start. I haven't been homeless. Well, I've been homeless 6 years and 3 months, and then I was in an apartment with my daughter, and then I was homeless 2 other times. Each time was shorter. Each time was longer, and this has been the longest time. So it wears me out. So, and I got swollen feet now. I'm in a van, able to get one July 9th. I got a van to have more room for all my junk, and it now my feet are all swollen from sitting up, I guess. So anyway, and I have lots to do, writing books and stuff, but it's just too hard in a van. Can't hook up a desktop into a van. So thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I'm not the only one. There's other people I know that are homeless. One guy is trying to get his car fixed. Thankfully, his job lets him stay there, but his brakes are out, and so he's been sitting there since the end of January in his car. And he sleeps in his car, and then he walks to work. He's security, so at least he has a job, but he needs help. Anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your situation so that perhaps we can all find ways to help others. I think it's an incredible gesture of kindness to ask for help for others when you have needs of your own. I believe Virginia has a long list of agencies that can provide assistance. The town doesn't have any land to donate to make tiny homes yet. And it is a topic that we all talk about. Meeting you today or tonight, however, is very touching because we all forget how blessed we really are. So if you'll talk with Virginia afterwards, she'll try to give you some help, and we'll keep in mind your presence as we have future discussions on how to help, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We have no further folks signed up to speak. Unfortunately, we were going to have the Fort Mill Fire Department promotions tonight, but I understand that the two folks we were going to be celebrating with, one has a pregnant wife and he had to go with her, and then the other one had another emergency, so I guess they're prone to go to emergencies, right? Yeah. But we will celebrate them at another time. Presentation number 2, I see many friends in the audience here to present the Fort Mill History Museum Year in Review. So we welcome you to present to us all the wonderful work that you've been able to do in the past year.
Good evening, Town Council. Thank you for having us.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you all. Now, Mayor, I've been told I have roughly an hour and a half. Is that? We've got 150 slides, so I'll do my best to get through it. Now, I think you've all seen the slides. So, again, thank you for having Fort Mill History Museum here to speak tonight. We've got representatives here and in the audience. And if we could all, well, those of us standing up here quickly say our name and our role with the museum.
I'm Christia Humberg, and I'm the executive director and have been for 6 years.
And I'm Ashley Taylor, and I'm the chairman.
And I'm John Pettis. I'm the vice chair of the History Museum. And again, thank you for your time this evening. One of the major things that we want to accomplish here is to continue to strengthen the bond between the History Museum and the town of Fort Mill. We have a long history of working together, a rich partnership, and we want to continue that. As we talked about in the lobby before entering, it's good practice that we come here and stand before you and share what we're doing. A brief story, if you'll allow me. One reason that I'm part of the History Museum now is that I've grown up in the town. A multi-generation resident here. My parents, my dad grew up here, his father. And as I have grown and now my kids are in Fort Mill school system, I wanted to continue to find ways that I could partake in the community and give back. And I could not think of a better way than to continue to work with the History Museum and find a way to preserve our heritage. So that's why I stand before you tonight, along with these two lovely ladies and all the time that they give for the History Museum. So we do have a presentation ready for you tonight. I'm trying to click through it, and we're not advancing. You limited my rights because I flipped earlier. I was messing around with it earlier, and I flipped before the meeting started. So,
Chris.
hey, so I always think it's important for an organization to start with the mission and the vision of that organization. Whenever questions arise when you're part of an organization, you should always revert back to the mission. What is it that we're here to do? And you can imagine a history museum. The mission is fairly simple. Preserving the heritage of our township is our mission. That's what we volunteer to do. And we're going to tell a story tonight about all of the things that we work towards, and that is really driven by our mission, that preservation of Fort Mill's history. So the story that we want to tell is our involvement in the community, the partnerships that we have, what we have done, and what we will continue to do. So the slide before us shows the Fort Mill History Museum. This is a historic home in our community that is right downtown. It's right on the backside of Main Street, and we'll get into some visitor statistics here in a minute, but just wanted to show our History Museum and the role that it serves for the town. So our purpose is multifold for the museum, but preservation of our town's history is certainly a massive part of what we do. I've mentioned that several times when we discussed our mission a second ago, and we've got several pictures here that help illustrate how we preserve our town's history through exhibits at the museum. And we do have an audience member that's in our center picture here, David, pointing out. Yeah.
That's the way he looks.
We did our best. Photoshop could only do so much. So, if you look at the far right side of the picture, though, interestingly enough, this is one of the largest collections of Catawba Nation Indian heads, or arrowheads, that we have. So there's a lot of preservation of history for the town that date far back. One of the things that I get very excited about for the museum is that education that we provide. So in addition to our museum that have the gallery exhibits, we do a lot of educational outreach programs. We do a history trunk program. We go into our schools. We do events for downtown where all of people in our township can be involved. But there's a lot of outreach to help educate our township about the history of Fort Mill. So that is certainly a major piece of our mission. And we also offer those tools online for anybody that'd like to go and do their research. One thing that I know this town council is passionate about, and certainly the History Museum is as well, is the building of this community. We host several events as a museum that are engaging to our township. The Strawberry Soiree is one every spring that I see many faces in this room at, and it's a great event. I see a bunch of people nodding and smiling. Just a fantastic event. So when you start to think about a history museum, it's beyond the walls, it's beyond the exhibits of that history museum. It's these events, it's getting people in our town together to form those relationships and bonds so we can continue to build a strong community. And we also wanted to talk in the spirit of our partnership with Town Council. These are flyers that the town of Fort Mill have put on throughout the year. And we just wanted to remind you that the History Museum plays a part in each of those. We have a booth or we volunteer, continuing to try to be partners and build partnerships throughout our town. Sticking with the partnership theme, several logos on the screen here that are showing our community partners, Town of Fort Mill certainly being one, the school system another. Christy, I think you wanted to say a couple of words.
We play a huge part in tourism in our town and our county, and we have a strong partnership with Discover South Carolina from SCPRT, Discover South Carolina. We get a tag grant from them every year, and we work closely with them to help our marketing dollars go further than as far as they can go. And then we also, on a local level, on a regional level, we work with the Old English District Tourism Commission, who represents tourism in 7 counties across the state. South Carolina's broken into 11 tourism regions, and we're part of Old English that promotes tourism in our region. And then from there, we've got Visit York County on a county level that we participate in. We're partners with them. And we also advertise in their annual publication. And then the Arts Council of York County, we have a strong relationship with them. Actually, Melanie Cooper's here. Thank you. And we work with them on events. And we have a board member that from Winthrop, so we try to incorporate Winthrop as much as we can, and FMEP as well, and of course you guys, and then the school district. But those are, I wanted just mainly to point out a strong our tourism partners.
Thank you. Continuing with the partnership theme, a community is several things, but the local businesses in our community continue to help make this a strong town. And we have strong partners for the museum that are local businesses that are displayed on the screen. I won't go through them all, but I just wanted everybody to recognize the Fort Mill History Museum sponsors. These ought to be logos that we all recognize as residents of Fort Mill. And Christy just talked about tourism as one of the things that the History Museum strives to help accomplish in partnership with the town of Fort Mill. We try to bring tourism to our town through the museum and through our events, and we do so in several different ways. One of these ways is print advertising. And we're able to do that through some of the dollars this town council awards or grants to the town, the History Museum. So we just wanted to say thank you for that, but also to show an example of what it is we're trying to accomplish through that. And Christy has a whole stack here if we ever want to thumb through and see the print ads that we do. But again, trying to get people into our downtown, trying to get dollars into our local economy. So these maps are heat maps, and the major point that we want to show here is that the History Museum is not in a bubble. It's not just residents of Fort Mill. It's not just North Carolinians and South Carolinians. We have people from all over the U.S. that come and visit the History Museum. And not just the U.S. We have people from all over the world that have come and visited the History Museum. So I thought that to be an interesting statistic worth sharing with you all.
We collect zip codes. So we, when people enter the museum, we ask them to sign in. We're not interested in their name, but we want their zip code. We want to know where they're coming from. So we collect them that way, but we also collect them when they are buying tickets for our events, and we can collect them that way. And then we have a lady that she is great on an Excel spreadsheet, and she is meticulous about entering all of those zip codes and tracking those numbers for us, and has been for several years. So we think that is very important data that it's important for us, but it's important for you as well to know where they're coming from. And I don't know if you noticed, but Wyoming is white.
We see one person.
We don't know anybody there.
We got nothing on that.
We've actually placed a prohibition of Wyoming visiting the museum. We just don't like them, so they're not allowed. Everybody else is free to come and visit.
I love it.
Yeah, if you know anybody, have any family from Wyoming, please have them come by the
Yes,
museum. We'd like to fill in the gap.
Round it out.
Yeah. And this is what we're really excited to stand in front of you and present tonight, is where we're going from here. We have a lot of volunteers and a lot of board members that spend lots of time working together to try to put a plan to help the History Museum grow and grow within our community. So one of these things is the Lantern Society. And that is the name we've given our planned giving program. So we've talked about what dollars we've received and how we use them. Planned giving is a part of that. So if a member of the museum is interested in planned giving or passionate about the History Museum, we have a program where they're able to do planned giving and help us thrive moving forward. Strategic plan. Had several conversations regarding a strategic plan for the History Museum, and we want you all to know that this is in process. When we outlined our priorities for 2025, completing a strategic plan was one of the top priorities that we had as a History Museum board. And then in 2026 and beyond, we will execute on that strategic plan, updating it semi-annually to make sure that it's still relevant. So I see a lot of nodding. Any questions as we move through these? Good? Okay. Anything you want to add? You good?
Good.
All right. One of the major pieces of the strategic plan, but also a project for our History Museum and the town in general, is continuing to make sure the museum and its property has very nice curb appeal. So we have worked with Innovative Landscaping. They're in the room tonight. Vincent's in the room tonight. We appreciate him attending. They put a wonderful schematic together to really update the property. And again, this property is on the backside of Main Street. And it's really just a beautiful rendering of what the property can be. And we can turn it into a place where people gather, where events for the museum can be held, events for the town can be held. People may possibly even rent the space from us and hold events for their families and friends. All of that bringing people into the downtown area so that once the event or whatever they're hosting is done, they'll go into downtown and go get a burger at Hobo's or go get a beer at a Moore Artist. Continue to be downtown and participate in the area. And we'd like to close with just thanking you once again for the partnership that we have with the town. The History Museum could not be where we are today without this partnership. So we appreciate all of your time and attention, all of your consideration for our request over the years and moving forward. Thank you very much.
We'd like to thank you. I, for one, have noticed the continual growth. Your outreach programs have tripled, quadrupled in the last couple of years. You've begun to, put a real fine point on making sure that your programs are excellent. The Lanterns Tour is extremely positive and promising. I've been on several of them myself, and they're a lot of fun. Fun seems to be a nice connecting point between people, and I know that doesn't happen without a lot of hard work. It's good to see a strategic plan on your list. I think that's critical for sustainability, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's new. And thank you also for supporting our events. You do a lot of volunteer work with us and for us, and we're grateful. Council?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to follow up. Thank y'all for presenting. We have that partnership with other groups that receive funding, and we just like to see what y'all are doing with the funding and what your future is. We're all working to keep the culture and charm of the town as we move forward, as the town continues to grow. So it's great that we've got someone focused on the history, and y'all have come a long way. I remember when it was just a concept, and so all great things have challenges, and I have confidence you'll continue to work those.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And by the way, I know nobody will believe this, but I used to sing in the choir at St. John's, and he used to sit in the pew with his stuffed animal and just wrestle to keep himself still. And he did a great job. So it's so
Thank you,
nice
ma'am.
to see you all grown up. And so
Yes, ma'am. My grandma did the wrestling. I just paid
I'm so
attention
proud
to what
of
she
you.
said. Yeah.
Thank you guys for all that y'all do, the passion that you guys have for the history of the town. Not only the members here, but the ones who are not here. One in particular is Kimberly Long, who you mentioned the Lantern Tours. She's going to do the ghost tours. My wife, who she's threatened to dress up as a ghost and come out out of the cemeteries and scare everybody for the October tour. So, but thank you guys for all that y'all do. You mentioned the zip codes. You collect those. Do you know how many individual different zip codes that you have collected over the year?
Not individuals, and these ladies can probably answer better than me. We do have thousands of zip codes collected every year.
Just not Wyoming.
Which is,
Right.
right. Well, the prohibition of Wyoming still stands. But we do have thousands of visitors. And the heat map was just for who has actually been in the museum itself. You can imagine with all of the events that we have, that the heat map changes even further.
Absolutely.
When we look at that. So,
Thank you, guys.
I've been to some
Absolutely. Thank you all for your time.
smaller museums in some other towns, but I mean, if it wasn't for the group of people and volunteers y'all have, I mean, that's what makes it so special.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way. And I mean, I remember taking my kids by there, and Rudy was there. It's the first time I met him like 12 years ago. And he just sat down with my kids, and they were really young, coloring stuff on, and just went out of his way to make us feel welcome, And then I brought my parents by there and showed them the museum, and Rudy was there that day too, and just just a great group of people. We appreciate everything y'all do for our town. So thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
One thing I want to say that the fact we are free, and I think that's a lot to be proud of, because anybody and everybody can come in, and we welcome them to the museum, so there's no financial restraints on anybody. So I'm proud that we're still able to do that after all these years, and we're continuing to do that just because of outside support, members, donors, sponsors, and so on.
Yeah, I've been in the museum too, and a lot of the pictures of the cotton mill has got a lot of my wife's family in it. So.
Let's give the History Museum a round of applause. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you as well. And I would kind of issue a little bit of a challenge to those who might be, watching this. There's a few people that watch it on TV, but, to anybody that's not been there, we meet on a regular basis people, whether, all around town that have not been in Fort Mill, maybe some a year, maybe some 5 years, maybe some longer than that are not familiar with it. So I think it's kind of a responsibility, I feel like, where you're going to live, to know where you live and know the history of it. So I would challenge those that have not been there to go by there. And there's a lot of fascinating things that even, I've gone through there myself several times and looked. Seems like every time it's like, wow, I didn't remember that, or I didn't know that. So that would be an open challenge I would put out there. So it's a great facility.
And if you did grow up here and went to Fort Mill High School, there's a good chance your yearbook's in there.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I did. I graduated out of the old high school.
Let's make sure we add that Mayor Savage sang in the choir at the Methodist Church.
Yes. St. John's United Methodist.
Display itself.
That's right.
That's pretty sad.
Beautiful voice, if I recall. Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
You offered that, Mayor.
I know. I couldn't help it. He was so cute. All right. Old business item number 1. Second reading, an ordinance authorizing staff to enter into a lease agreement with Fort Mill History Museum for office space located at 111 South White Street. Chris Pettit, has anything changed since the last time we reviewed this?
No, ma'am. This is for 111 South White Street, better known as the Caboose at the bottom of Main Street.
Questions?
I would like
Motion?
to thank the History Museum for the investment they put into the caboose. It was not being used. I put windows and then some other updates to it. So it's really nice to see preserving, something of the past as a history museum. So that's it was vacant for years, and now it's getting some use. So I'd like to take that and just I'd like to approve new business item. I'll make a recommendation. Motion to old business item number 1. I had to find where I was on the thing. Old business item number 1.
Yes. So I have a motion to approve old business item number 1. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, thank you so much. New business item number 1, resolution accepting the streets within the waterside at the Catawba subdivision into the town of Fort Mill street maintenance system. Penelope, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, this is the waterside at the Catawba subdivision. They're ready for a street acceptance application to get approved tonight. It was submitted by Lennar Carolinas LLC. They've recorded, all roads were recorded before the establishment of the street acceptance policy, and therefore they are exempt from the inspection fee and the surety bond. The Planning Department has reviewed the application. The subdivision is 100% built out, which meets and exceeds the requirement of the street acceptance application. A maintenance agreement for non-standard pavement and landscaping medians were recorded, and we have that on file. Talking with the Public Works Department and Utilities Department, they reviewed the roads submitted for acceptance and found them to be in compliance with the town specification and requirements. Should the town council vote to approve this resolution accepting the streets, the developer would enter in a 1-year warranty period during which time they are responsible for any maintenance on the streets. Upon the closing of the warranty period, the town would take over the maintenance responsibilities for the streets. So tonight, it's either to approve the resolution or to not approve the resolution.
I think it's fair for those that are watching and maybe hearing something like this for the first time that the town does have a very strict criteria that all streets must be brought up to before we even consider taking them on. I was in Waterside over the weekend, and the street paving looks so much better. So that's a positive. And this is not an uncommon event these days in the town to be asked to take over a road system. So with that being said, does anyone have questions for Penelope? Anyone have a motion?
Yes, Mr.
Just a
Meady.
quick question. So the curb, where the curb cuts have been and places where the sidewalks, is that totally have been replaced separate from this? Or?
So the sidewalks and the streets is what is part of the street acceptance. Now, if you're referring to parts of the neighborhood that have cuts for future connections, there will be, once the other property gets developed, it will tie in. And
Well, I guess there was some sidewalks that had to be, portions of them that had to be replaced over the last few years.
that has been verified.
We're good with all that now?
That's what Mr. Previtt mentioned to me, and Greg Rushing from Utilities. So I've received,
Okay.
notifications.
When, I know that part of that neighborhood is split now, but it all used to be in Ward 4, so I would
Yes,
always
so
get all the complaints about when is it going to be paved and when are our sidewalks going to get fixed, so that was just.
No, that's a great question, Mr. Moody. So tonight, it's the whole neighborhood. It's
Okay.
basically phases 1 through 4, portion of White's Road that comes into the neighborhood, and also there's a small section of a portion of J.W. Wilson that we are also accepting because of the entrance of one of the streets in Waterside.
Okay, all right, thank you. You answered my question, so thank you.
I got one question.
Sure.
If we do not accept the roads, who takes responsibility of the roads?
If we do not accept the roads, then the developer works out something with our HOA, and the residents of the subdivision contribute to that funding.
Further questions for Penelope?
Just one, Penelope.
I knew
said-
Chris Wolf was going to have one tonight. I was waiting.
I keep pushing it, just.
Yeah, you almost got this one. No, so you're saying the roads were recorded before the street acceptance policy, so
So
that was in 2018?
yes, that's
So they were already underway before that?
So if you remember, many years ago, this project was approved in 2014. And so the policy that that council has updated over the years, there's different versions. The latest version was from 2018 that requires that surety. But because this development, was approved in 2014, it's exempt for the inspection fee and then that surety bond.
And so he's going to stand a 1-year warranty just regardless?
So the 1-year warranty is basically for utilities and Public Works to go back within a year. So what I do, I work with those departments. We have like a 60-day little timer that says, hey, this neighborhood was approved almost a year ago. Go out and check. Is everything still checking up and is good since we've approved it? And so Greg Rushing and his team, they go back out to make sure the roads and the sidewalks have maintained themselves within that year.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea to have that reminder.
Yes.
And check it.
Because time goes by so fast before you know it, and it's a year.
Any further questions? Hearing none, I call for a motion.
Make a motion to approve new business item number 1.
I have a motion to approve new business item number 1. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. New business item number 2, consideration to award a contract for construction of 4 new picnic shelters at Parks and Rec facilities for a total of $122,633.17. Brown Simpson. So
Mayor,
thank you for joining us. Tell us a little
thank
bit.
you. Thank you, Mayor and members of council. Did come before you tonight. A couple months ago, we did an RFP for 4 new shelters, 2 at Harris Street Park, 1 at Millstone Park, and 1 at Steel Street Park as part of our improvements of our Parks and Recreation plan. We're bringing to you tonight that we ask you to approve Battement Company LLC, and they are based here in Fort Mill on Gold Hill Road, to approve this. And the shelters will be 15 by 20 shelters with a 20 by 25 concrete pad. We are going to have to take out a couple shelters, 1 at Steel Street, demolish it, also at Harris Street, an older one. Also some concrete work also at both of those sites, plus some concrete work that will have to be demolished at Millstone Park at the top where we have 2 picnic tables also too. We had 7 companies that were interested in this project, and we appreciate all those that showed interest in that. I want to thank Philip Aycock, our procurement manager, who helped me with this whole process. Philip does a great job for us, and we appreciate all his effort with that. We do have funding that's designated for this project, so I will be glad to answer any questions if I can for you. And I do want to remind you of one thing. You know, we did at one time have a gazebo at Harris Street Park, and we took that one down a couple of years ago because it had become unsafe and just didn't meet ADA standards at all. And all 4 of these new shelters with the improvements, if you guys choose to approve this, will meet ADA standards also too. And we'll be working with our buildings department to make sure acquire the correct permits and make sure the inspections are done during the construction process also too. We will not have any power or lighting at these shelters. These would just be individual picnic shelters. So I want to make sure that you knew that going forward. And I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
What can you tell us about, like, this is a steel structure, steel frame?
Yes, sir.
Roof?
It'll be a steel frame with wood structure up top, and it'll be a metal roof.
Okay.
And I think y'all got a drawings of those. That will not actually be the color that we'll use that roof. We're looking at like a forest green, kind of match some of the playgrounds that we have, black poles, and then a light brown wood structure underneath that will support the wood frame, the metal framing for the roof. Well, I think that they will be welcomed in our park facilities. The old blue ones that we got at Steele and Harris, they've shown the test of time. So
Yeah, they predate me. So Kerry, is this I haven't seen, working our Parks and Rec master plan. Does this fit within, we're not going to conflict by moving forward with these?
No, there'll be no conflict with the Park and Rec master plan. This is really just replacement, maintenance, and upkeep of our current facilities.
Okay, I just didn't want to step ahead and then cause some conflict and spend extra money.
Lord, no.
It is good to see we got a Fort Mill company that's going to be doing the work, a local company. So
yes, sir.
We're glad we're keeping that business local.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yep.
I like that.
It is nice to see. Any further questions? I'll call for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve new business item number 2.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All righty then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we do not have any information or discussion items for this evening. However, we do have 4 executive session items. Please note that council may take action on any of these items when we come back into public session. Executive session number 1 is receipt of legal advice related to potential claims. 2, discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual agreements. 3, discussion of negotiations incident to proposed purchase of real property. And 4, discussions relating to personnel matters. Please note that it's oftentimes important that we do business as a business should, and these items that we discuss in executive session must be discussed in executive session, or we're not doing our fiduciary responsibility to you as a taxpayer. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
It's stereo.
I started it first.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Thank you so much. Let the record reflect that no vote was taken in executive session. I'll entertain a motion to return to regular session.
I'll make a motion to return to, go ahead, Ronnie.
I have a motion to return and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Thank you. I do believe we have one item that we need to address post-executive session.
Yes. I make a motion to authorize the manager to enter into a purchase and sale agreement discussed in executive session.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right. I believe that ends our session for this evening. Does anyone have a comment for the good of the whole? If not, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Have a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed. Thank you so much.